Okay, first off, I know what you're thinking, and yeah, you're right, but not in the way you think. While Ultra Instinct Goku did indeed make his debut in the manga and anime versions of Dragon Ball Super's Tournament of Power, you need to keep in mind that modern Dragon Ball has not one, not two, but 3 separate continuities, with each having varying levels of adherence to Toriyama's true vision for a continuation of his original manga. And the continuity we're going to be focusing on for this video is that of the movies, as it's the continuity with the greatest claim to being Toriyama's canon, as it's the one that resurrected Dragon Ball over 10 years ago with the release of Battle of Gods in 2013. It's the continuity that has the most direct involvement from Akira Toriyama himself, and by the end of this video, you will agree it's the continuity where Ultra Instinct Goku is in fact non-canon. But before we quite get into things, let's clarify modern Dragon Ball's 3 continuities, as things aren't as simple as they were in the good old days, where we just had Toriyama's original holy canon and the rest was non-canon blasphemy. And initially, things weren't so bad with the release of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, where these films were simply canon to the Dragon Ball manga. But then everything changed with the release of Dragon Ball Super in 2015, where for better or worse, we started to get anime and manga retellings of movie events, wherein each had subtle but not insignificant changes between them. Let's take Battle of Gods for instance, where Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is exclusive to the manga version, Bulma's birthday party is on a yacht in the anime and manga versions but not in the movie version, and in the movie version, Goku vs Beerus wasn't this universe-ending threat, firmly setting them in similar but separate continuities. And as ugly as the anime version of Resurrection F was, I really do appreciate the anime staff for having Goku be in base form and not in his blue form when he got snucked by that laser, because that was a really dumb part of the original movie. But anyway, here's where things get even more complicated, as the anime and manga continuities of Dragon Ball Super could no longer just adapt the movies, as there were no more movies left to adapt. This is where we enter the era of Toriyama's infamous original drafts. This is where Toriyama would give brief plot outlines and character designs for Toei Animation and Toyotaro and tell them to have at it. Naturally, this is where the anime and manga would begin to differ wildly, such as the Universe 6 tournament having Super Saiyan God Goku in the manga and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku in the anime, the Goku Black arc having Super Saiyan God Vegeta and Super Saiyan Goku Black in the manga, and the super dumb Race Trunks transformation in the anime. The Tournament of Power, meanwhile, would have Ultra Instinct Omen Goku vs Kefla, while in the manga it was Gohan vs Kefla, and so on. With such differences, it's been a struggle for fans to know what Toriyama's true vision was on those napkin scribbles he gave to Toei and Toyotaro. So the rule of thumb fans came up with was that if an event happened in both the anime and manga versions of Dragon Ball Super, then that's what was in Toriyama's original notes. Which would also include that part when Goku didn't know what a kiss was, because haha Toriyama, that was so funny. But anyway, this would also mean that because Ultra Instinct Goku made his appearance in both the anime and manga versions of Dragon Ball Super, this means that Ultra Instinct Goku was part of Toriyama's original vision. See, well, while this is a very logical and reasonable headcanon fan theory, it's just that, and I can disprove it with just 3 words.
Vegito! Gotta make it, game to survive. Fight the powers that be. Gotta get this. Reckless, got a checklist when I wreck it. Think before you get in the way. Ain't no exception, sure you can lay. Infectious, yet the freshest and I'm restless. Check this, what you mess with is a death wish. Pinpoint accurate, laser aim in the system, but I ain't playing your games.
Flashy, cool, but pointless fan service that ultimately had no real impact on the plot. Those are the words I'd use to describe Vegito's appearance in the Goku Black arc in both the anime and manga versions. But once you realize his appearance was not in Toriyama's original draft for the arc, then this makes so much sense. As in an interview, it was revealed that Toriyama only intended for fused Zamasu to be an opponent that Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta could overpower together, not a fusion level threat. You see this somewhat reflected in the manga, where mastered Super Saiyan Blue Goku was able to take on fused Zamasu and almost Hakai him out of existence. So here we have an overpowered transformation that didn't defeat the main antagonist and wasn't in Toriyama's original vision, and an antagonist that Toriyama intended to be a lot weaker than how he was presented in the anime and manga versions of events. But what if I were to tell you that the story of Toriyama's original vision for the Tournament of Power and how it became the arc we know it as today is actually quite similar to what happened with the Goku Black arc, but a bit more complicated? So without further ado, let's get into it. When you think of the Tournament of Power, you can't help but think of Ultra Instinct Goku. His initial clash with Jiren quite literally broke the internet itself. His Kamehameha against Kefla is one of the hypest moments in the franchise's history, and his final confrontation with Jiren brought Dragon Ball fans together in pure hype like never before. But this monumental moment in Dragon Ball history was nowhere to be found in Toriyama's original draft for the tournament. While it had the concept of an 80-person free-for-all, the design for the tournament arena itself, several designs and names for new characters, Frieza replacing Majin Buu, and how the tournament itself would end in the final confrontation between Universe 7 and Universe 11, Goku attaining a new transformation was just not part of Toriyama's vision. So where did this new form for Goku even come from? Well, as we all know, the Dragon Ball Super anime had a very rough start. That's to say, it looked like shit. The anime staff knew this, and Toriyama himself even complained about it. So when it came to the final arc of the anime, series director Ryota Nakamura and producer Satoru Takami knew that to redeem themselves somewhat, it had to end with a bang, an absolute showstopper. It had to end with hype. And in Dragon Ball, what is more hype than a new transformation, as they have become some of the most iconic scenes in the franchise. So it was only when this need was communicated to Toriyama is when he supplied them with the idea of Ultra Instinct as a power-up for Goku separate from Super Saiyan. But wait, I hear you ask. If Toriyama designed and gave input to the form, doesn't that make it canon? Well, not quite, as what happened here is no different from when back in the 90s, Toriyama would design and give notes for non-canon characters and transformations for Toei to use when they requested it, such as with Cooler and Z Broly. Not to mention, Toei couldn't help but fall back on their non-canon power-up methods for Goku when it came to Ultra Instinct, such as him absorbing the Spirit Bomb, which came straight from the Android 13 film, and Goku needing to be beaten to the point of nigh unconsciousness, which comes straight from the Lord Slug film with that false Super Saiyan transformation. Meanwhile, in the manga, Goku gets reminded that he's a martial artist by Master Roshi, who can also use Ultra Instinct kinda. But in the end, both anime and manga versions have awkwardly backpedaled Goku's so-called mastery or perfection over the Ultra Instinct white-haired, silver-haired form. But wait, I hear you ask. Again, without a new powerful transformation, how was Goku supposed to take on Jiren in a one-on-one fight? Cause that guy was an absolute tank. And this is an understandable question, as in the anime and manga versions of the Tournament of Power, Jiren was an unmovable powerhouse who had to be worn down by Ultra Instinct Goku. The simple truth is that Akira Toriyama never intended for Jiren to be so overwhelmingly powerful. See, when you remember that Toriyama had planned out the ending of the Tournament of Power without the addition of Ultra Instinct Goku, his original intentions for Jiren's power level become so much clearer. This is where we have to delve back into the movie continuity of things to figure out just what Akira Toriyama's true version of Jiren is. As remember, for the movies, Toriyama writes every single line of dialogue. Meanwhile, for the anime and manga, those are just adaptations of his notes. This is why the following dialogue exchange from Dragon Ball Super Superhero is so important, as it's revealed by Vegeta that Jiren wasn't much stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Goku, but what made his offensive capabilities so potent was that he fought with extreme efficiency and calm via instinct. This is why Toriyama was so adamant that Jiren be the silent type, and is an aspect of his character that was absolutely butchered by Toei, but was somewhat salvaged in the DBS manga. So just as Toriyama didn't intend for Zamasu to be a fusion level threat, he didn't intend for Jiren to be so overwhelmingly powerful that Goku needed a power up to overpower him, as the Tournament of Power wasn't supposed to be all about Goku's power, it was supposed to be about the power of teamwork and working together. So this is why Jiren lost. He couldn't trust in his fellow Pride Troopers, meanwhile Goku could put his trust in Frieza, his arch nemesis, along with other people who also wanted to kill him at one point or another. So looking at the movie continuity of Dragon Ball Super in the lens of it being Toriyama's canon, you can see that he doesn't really care about changes the anime and manga made to his original drafts. Take Dragon Ball Super Broly for example. Now in that film, Broly was whooping Goku and Vegeta in their blue forms. However, in the anime and manga continuities, they have access to multiple powered up versions of Super Saiyan Blue that can make them dozens of times stronger. So why didn't they use them against Broly? Well, it's simple. To Toriyama, those forms weren't in his original draft for the previous arcs of Dragon Ball Super, so to him, they simply aren't part of his canon. And also, just look at the scene before Goku and Vegeta fused to make Gogeta. If the anime and manga continuities mattered to Toriyama, you'd think Goku would bring up the fact that he and Vegeta fused twice. But he doesn't. Instead, it sounds as though Goku is referring to a singular prior event of fusion back in the Buu saga. This is because Vegito Blue wasn't in his original draft for the Goku Black arc. Just look at the dialogue, or lack thereof, surrounding Goku's Ultra Instinct in the movies. It's not brought up or hinted at once that Goku ever tapped into Ultra Instinct. This is especially apparent in Superhero, as it's revealed that Jiren fought with some level or some type of Ultra Instinct, so you'd think that Goku, Vegeta or Whis would bring up that Goku had to use his Ultra Instinct in order to stand up to him. But nope, nothing. Goku doesn't even have much of an insight as to how Jiren fought, indicating that in Toriyama's vision, Goku and Jiren never had a 1v1 fight where they fought as equals. If they did, Goku would know how he fought. And lastly, as much as I hate to say it, and I've got a whole video planned on it, so I'll keep this brief. But since Toriyama has brought back Dragon Ball in 2013, he has gradually reduced and retconned Goku from a martial arts master who could dodge attacks just by feeling the vibration of air molecules to an arrogant moron who constantly lets his guard down and doesn't even know what meditation is anymore. Do you really think Toriyama intended for this dunce to have ever accessed the highest level of martial arts mastery in the Dragon Ball universe for even a second? Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's for all these reasons that I can confidently say that as far as Akira Toriyama is concerned, Ultra Instinct Goku is in fact non-canon. But you know what? What the hell does it even matter if Ultra Instinct is canon or not? As you know, Dragon Ball fans have always had some kind of an obsession as of what was canon or what wasn't. Meanwhile, some of the most beloved, iconic moments in the franchise's history were completely absent from Toriyama's manga. Future Trunks transforming into a Super Saiyan for the first time after finding Gohan's lifeless body, Goku's speech against Frieza before putting it all on the line with a Kaioken ×20 Kamehameha, the cathartic, emotional build-up of Goku's very first Super Saiyan transformation. Non-canon characters like Gogeta, Bardock and Broly were so impactful to fans and Toriyama himself that they were made canon. Again, canon or not, Ultra Instinct Goku is still one of the most iconic scenes in the franchise's history. It ascended Goku into a new level of anime goated and brought fans together in a way that Dragon Ball may never do again. It's too bad I can't heap all this praise on Ultra Ego, Vegeta's transformation, which is supposed to be his equivalent to Ultra Instinct, but all he does is catch L's while using it, and it hasn't won a fight since its debut almost 2 years ago. So if you want to know more about why I think that transformation is an absolute disaster, click this video over here. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I can't wait to dive into the comment section for this one because I know I got a bit controversial here. But thanks again guys, and stay locked into the cage. Peace out.